Good afternoon, everyone. My name is Pranav, a legal intern with LEXIS and Company. And today, I will be talking about the Supreme Court decision regarding the postponement of the final year examination of medical courses. The Supreme Court rejected the medical students' plea to postpone the final year examinations. The court observed that general orders can't be passed when several universities across the country are involved. The Supreme Court on Friday refused to pass orders for postponement of final year examinations of postgraduate medical students in a plea filed by a group of 29 doctor postgraduate medical residents. A vacation bench comprising of Justices Indira Banerjee and M.R. Shah observed that the dates of exams are to be announced by several universities spread over the country, and hence no general orders can be passed by the court. The different medical universities are not made parties in the case, the bench had noted. Justice Banerjee had further stated that how can the court pass a general order when there are hundreds of universities involved all over the country? The bench observed that wherever relief was possible, the court had granted it. One such instance was postponement of the INICET exam, which was ordered by the court last week. However, this was a case where the court could not grant relief. The bench had also noted that the National Medical Commission, represented by Advocate Gaurav Sharma, had advised the universities to fix exam dates taking into account the pandemic situation. Senior Advocate Sanjay Hegde, appearing for the petitioners, submitted that the petitioners who were attending COVID duties as frontline warriors and preparing for exams simultaneously was really unfair. Mr. Hegde further submitted, the students are forced to make a choice between attending COVID duties and studying for an exam. They have been doing it for a very long time in extraordinary circumstances. The bench observed that it understood the hardships of PG medical students. However, it added that it was not in a position to order postponement of examination for which dates are yet to be announced. When Mr. Hegde persuaded the bench to at least order the NMC to grant reasonable time for the students to prepare for the exams, the bench had said that the concept of reasonable time was subjective. Justice Banerjee quipped, and I quote, "For Brother Justice Shaw, 15 days might be reasonable time for exam preparation. For me, it could be 150 days. Mr. Hegde had also pressed for a prayer to notionally promote the PG students doing COVID duties as senior residents without examinations. However, the bench made it clear that it cannot order promotions without any examinations. A vacation bench of Justices Indira Banerjee and Justice M.R. Shah had on the last hearing refused to allow waiver of the exams and had noted that the prayer would not be pressed by the petitioners. The bench today heard the matter with regards to the other prayers on which it had issued notice to the union government and the National Medical Commission on the last occasion. Apart from the prayer seeking waiver of the final exam, which was rejected by the bench on June 11th, the petitioners have sought directions for promoting them as senior residents and as postdoctoral students as soon as the scheduled tenure of 3 or 2 years gets completed, along with pay scale and other allowances. They have sought a constitution of a joint expert committee for examining and recommending on their prayers. The petitioners also challenged the notifications issued by the National Medical Commission on 22nd April and 27th April 2021, whereby on one hand it advised the medical colleges to further continue taking the services of the PG final year, the residents to keep up the fight against the pandemic, and on the other, it advised the university to decide the time and method of postgraduate practical final examinations. The Supreme Court on June 11th rejected a prayer made in the present petition by a group of postgraduate medical students seeking the waiver of final exams in view of the COVID-19 pandemic, observing that the court cannot pass order for waiver of exams as it was an educational policy matter. The bench had asked, how will these students be treating patients when they have not yet cleared their exams? The bench had, however, issued notice to the Union Government and National Medical Commission on other prayers made in the writ petition. In response to the submissions made by Senior Advocate Sanjay Hegde, appearing for the doctors in favor of waiver of exams, the bench had asked him as to how the court can take a decision to waive an examination completely. The bench had added that the court can understand a submission or even a suggestion of arbitrariness in holding an exam on a particular date. But how could the court say no to an exam completely? The court stated, it is a policy decision and it is also not in the larger interest to waive the examination. You are well aware of limitations of our power and cases in which we exercise jurisdiction and only in exceptional cases where we find real arbitrariness and real prejudice. Justice Banerjee had stated that certain things come in the realm of policies, Why should the court apply its mind as to whether the exam should be conducted or not? To which Justice Shaw had further added, how can these students treat patients who have not yet cleared exams, when these doctors are to become senior residents and will thereafter treat patients? After the court had expressed its disinclination to waive the exam, Senior Counsel Hegde had requested the court to ask the National Medical Commission if something could be done on the issue and come out with a proposal. There are limitations on the writ jurisdiction except in exceptional circumstances. This is an exceptional circumstance sensing the disinclination of the bench. Hegde submitted that he was now pressing the prayer for waiver of examinations and that they will seek a prayer of the other issues mentioned in the petition. With this, I come to the end of this topic today. Thank you.